All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to take a quick AI sector review looking at SoundHound, Palantir, and then BBAI was a viewer request I'm going to add into this one. So man, starting with SoundHound, really the exact same comments from the last video are very much going to be the highlight, right? It's a weird mix of doing all right, holding the 8, but definitely not doing enough to break the 100, right? That was definitely the main call from the last video. Very, very honest. I am shocked. I am completely shocked we've stayed as horizontal as we have. All right, like I've been talking about this 214 line for a bit. We're obviously at 216, right? But I'm like, I don't even know how to say it, right? Like Palantir clearly working its way down, and we'll get to that one later. NVIDIA, not on this video, but NVIDIA clearly working its way down. The fact that SoundHound is holding, I can't tell what to think of that. You know what I mean? But we'll get to that in a little bit. And then Palantir, like I said, I touched on that one a little bit. We've lost the 8. We've actually confirmed that the 8 is lost, and we have an interesting doji as well on Friday's candle. So I think that's an interesting play out for sure. And then honestly, BBAI, I'm not sure what it looks like. So that one will be a rather live and fresh review when we get there. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? Where am I? There we go. Let's take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this YouTube channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh man, I can't thank you enough. All right, so SoundHound. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is actually a viewer comment that I got. Excuse me. I'm not sure if it was in Discord or if it was in Twitter, but somebody called the SoundHound earnings mediocre, okay? And immediately, I have to start with saying, look, I have no idea what the earnings even said or what they were like, right? Like, I'm not here to ever give you my personal opinion about earnings. And truth be told, I'm also not really here to argue or like, you know, have real discussions about your opinions about earnings. Because end of the day, the only thing I care about with earnings is what's going to happen with the trend. Are we uptrending post earnings or are we downtrending post earnings? There rarely is anything different. You rarely drop an earnings and then go horizontal for a few months. You know what I mean? So for me, look, they might have been mediocre. All right. Like I for real don't know. I for real don't have any opinions to say that they're not mediocre. All I know is the market reacted well and it went up, okay? Now, you can easily argue that, hey, it was all NASDAQ based. I've said it. If the NASDAQ's gonna do this from the 30th to basically the next 30th, right? If it's just gonna go straight up, you can kind of have some bad earnings in a tech stock and still go up with NASDAQ, right? So, hey, maybe it's true. All I really care about is the trend, all right? So really wanted to start there. It's obviously been several weeks, almost a month since the earnings, right? But yeah, I wanted to touch on that a little bit, okay? Getting into the technicals, look, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's essentially the same thoughts from the last video, all right? You know I love a stock that can bounce on the 8 moving average like a champion, all right? The easiest one to think about is Donkey Kong, DraftKings, right? Like you go up, you hit it, you go up, you hit it, you go up. It seems like we're gonna like bouncing on the 8 like a champion is an amazing thing a stock can do. I'm telling you, you know, you're not going to get the big giant rockets that you'll see in other tickers, but oof, as long as the 8's going up and you're bouncing on the 8, all you're going to do is go up, okay? We're at a place where, look, if the 8's going to want to keep going up, that's going to mean we have to get over this 100 moving average. And it really looked like that was a good 4 days. RSI was a little high now that I'm looking at it, 81. All right, so we then cool down, and then again, you can just see what's happened the last few days. Like, we have not been able to take this out. One thing I said was, in my opinion, the two lines were gonna meet around $2.20. I kept saying at $2.20, we're either going to see a violent jump up to, I think that's 240 up there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're either going to see it break that 220 intersection point and go up, or we're going to see it lose the 220 intersection and head on down, right? Basically 10% up or 10% down, roughly 20 cents being that 10%, right? Still my comments today. I thought that it was going to happen by now. I don't think I factored in the smaller trading week because of the holiday. Nonetheless, it still looks the same to me. It looks like they're going to meet right here, maybe come Monday, maybe come Tuesday, whatever it may be. $2.20 still looks like that magic point. $2.20 seems like it will be the determinant of, are we going to go up all the way to the 200, or are we actually maybe going to be dropping all the way down to the 20 moving average? All right, so again, one more time, NASDAQ still doing well. Okay, I quickly flashed the other ones, and I'll do it here just in case you're only going to watch SoundHound, but Palantir lost the line, confirmed the line, doji under. All right, that's not good. Nvidia lost the line, confirmed under. That's not good. To me, and if you've watched my videos, you've heard this a bunch of times, there is an AI hierarchy, and when the top struggles, it's really, really hard for me to believe the middle doesn't. You know what I mean? And SoundHound pretty much is straight in the middle, right? Like, there are lower ones, like you got your BBAI, I'm going to cover later, Bullfrog. Like, there are some tickers I haven't even like talked about in a while, right? But SoundHound's in the middle. You definitely got your Palantirs, your Nvidias, the NASDAQ itself above it, right? And man, I am surprised we're going horizontal. I'm surprised we haven't interacted with the 100 more. Obviously, we've interacted enough. Like, it's keeping us down, but like, yeah, we're not hitting it hard. We haven't rejected from it hard. We haven't broken from it, right? Like, it's interesting to see this 100 moving line for sure. But $2.20. I will be honest, I still need to lean on the fact that it's going to go down. All right, we've seen the other two tickers go down. I know now my cat's trying to get out. What are you doing? Let's get you out of here. Oh, my baby. Sorry about that. Okay. I am very much a believer in that hierarchy that I was telling you, right? And I think the only weird thing, and it is weird, is that NASDAQ's still going up. All right, we've definitely had a ridiculously high 90 RSI. We're now slipping. We have green over red here, but clearly red over green here, right? And volume's kind of starting to come down a little bit. I gotta believe NASDAQ cools down a little bit. And I don't think crazy drop, but I do think a cool. I think we've already kind of seen it with Palantir and Nvidia. I have to believe we lose 220. I gotta believe we come down to 203. Just my opinion. Clearly, you know, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it keeps going up and everyone makes money, right? But you gotta make some assumptions, right? Where are we on the weekly? Man, that 242 line is, again, right on the 50 moving average. You can barely see it, but it's essentially there. Break 242 and crazy things will happen, and I haven't said it yet, but still 260 is really the other line. 260 is up here. It's now starting to come down a little bit, so I can see it maybe eventually intersecting at this 240 line too. But yeah, get over the 200 moving average on the daily, get over the 50 moving average on the weekly, get over all moving averages on both charts. Oh man, this thing can go really, really well. Again, immediately I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit of a drop, but yeah, by no means am I like crazy panicking or anything like that. All right, let's get into Palantir. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, I would much appreciate it. But otherwise, let's get into it. All right, so Palantir. You know, I just started the SoundHound video by basically talking about bouncing on the 8 moving average like a champ. All right, Unfortunately, we couldn't do it here. You know, the funny thing is, you can almost say it tried, because obviously we closed down here on Tuesday, but then it opens up here on Wednesday. Like, it actually tried to do one more little bounce on that 8. But yeah, unfortunately, it couldn't hold the 8. Obviously closes under it again. You know, I always say it, right? 2 candles back to back is essentially what I call confirmation, right? And we've lost the 8, we confirmed the 8, we dropped down a little bit. Look, it doesn't look like a big loss, right? I mean, 3% is not that bad, but we're now gap, like again, we closed here at 19, let's call it 1970. We then gapped down to 1940. Again, not significant losses, right? Like, I'm not saying the word to like freak people out or scare people, but yeah, to me, I think that emphasizes that confirmation I just talked about, right? Like, lose the line, confirm, gap down, and don't come back up. You know, like that's not great things, right? You often hear me say it, if you see a doji, and that's, for me, that's a doji. Like, some will say that's a little bit more of a doji because it's skinnier. That one's a little bit more of a doji. Like, doji's doji. Like, I'm not a candle shape pattern trader, right? But for me, that's enough to be a doji. It's right on an important line. It happens to be one of my lines instead of one of the moving averages. But yeah, I think we're going to get a big move on Monday. I do. And I think we're going to either drop down to 1850 or somehow come back up to 20. And as I say the word somehow, I think you can tell which way I'm leaning, right? I think this is coming down to $18.50. It looks like MACD is about to slip under. Again, we like when both are green over red, green over red. Looks like that's going to slip under. RSI has already slipped under. We've now seen 3 days of pretty bad volume. Again, I'm saying some negative things right now, right? Like, don't get me wrong. It should be very difficult to lose 1850, all right? Hopefully this 20 moving average can actually hold this thing. If we lose it, excuse me, I think 18 will be a, ooh, excuse me, 2 burps there, sorry. I think 18 will hold it. Otherwise, if 18, yeah, 18 will hold it, 1788. I think 18, I think $18 flat is roughly the lowest this should go, okay? Because again, going back to what I was saying, I don't know if you fast forwarded from the soundhound part. Look, NASDAQ needs to cool down. Look at this RSI. NASDAQ's at a 91, 91. Look at the box on the left over there. 90, 90, 85, 83. Like, we need to cool down this RSI, all right? I can see us going below the 8 moving average. I see this 20 is definitely coming up, 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 right? Like, maybe we come, hopefully we don't lose that gap. Hopefully we don't go any lower than 14K flat. Hopefully by 14K flat, the orange line will catch up. Maybe worst case, we'll kind of go like half of it and go 13.9 roughly. Either way, it needs to cool down. We need our RSI to come back to like 60, 50 so that we can continue to go back up. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting a little bit of a cool down. I can see that bringing us down to this, bringing us down to this, that 1775, give or take. That's where the NASDAQ will recover. That's where this will recover and go. Okay, and look, I mean, same RSI story here, right? Like, that's an 86. What's the next day? That's an 87. You know, we got to start coming down to 74, right? Like, RSI can't just, sorry, I pointed here to say, RSI can't just keep running hot. Like, it's like a car engine, right? Like, you cannot overheat your car engine. You need to let it come back to normal. And then, hey, rev the gas and go back up, right? So, Palantir, I am seeing a healthy, needed cool down coming. Look, 18 is not a good place to go down, right? Because roughly speaking, $2 is about 10%. I guess we're losing less. It's only about 5%. And I say only, kind of, you know. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty good right there for Palantir. Where's the weekly at? Oh, I love it. Perfect. I didn't even see this. But yeah, the 8 moving average on the weekly should catch us. Again, that's pretty much lining up with that $18 that I just mentioned on the daily. Ideally, we do not go any lower than the 8 moving average on the weekly. Ideally, we do not go any lower than the 20 moving average on the daily. Either or kind of thing, you know what I mean? So hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, let's take a look at BBAI. So this one, oh wow, Yo, get out of here. Where's the 200? Interesting. Damn. I have completely missed this. Ah, it's okay. It happened. Look, can't catch them all, right? It's not Pokemon, baby. Yo, there's a lot of really good happening here, and I'll be honest, I don't know if you watched the soundhound part a little bit, but this is interesting to see that the top of the AI sector is not doing well, but to see that the middle, basically soundhound, and then maybe some of the lower ones, BBAI, you know, this isn't a bad chart at all, actually. We're in a nice little red. We've made a good little green. We've actually broken the 8, broken the 20, broken the 50, broken the 100. Man, we tried to make a good little run to the 200. And maybe this is a little indicative of soundhound, where soundhound was able to get over these, seemingly was going to try to go to the next big one up, but just never could do it. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is a really interesting chart here. I'm actually very surprised to see it go up. I'm actually, more than anything, very surprised by this Friday candle. Again, we talked about the other ones going down. We even talked about soundhound just staying flat. This thing actually loses the 8 moving average. This is not a confirmation candle for me. This goes ahead and tells me no, we actually haven't lost the 8 moving average. Very interesting candle here. And man, right now, I often say I put more weight on these computer generated lines than my manual lines. Knock on wood, I'm pretty good at drawing. I'm obviously good enough at drawing. I'm gonna make these YouTube videos and have the world like insult me if I'm wrong, right? But man, I'm trying to think of what to say right now. If 187 breaks, it will be a very fast climb to 2. And in all honesty, if 2 it doesn't hold, which it doesn't kind of look like it will, it might actually fast climb to this 212 right here. Okay. That said, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to just kind of keep the AI sector trend and kind of say it seems like this should come down to 170. Again, it sounds stupid for me to say 170 as I'm seeing good here. That's not bad. That's not bad. And I mean, that's not horrible, right? Like this BBAI is a little bit of a weird. This is a weird analysis. I will be honest. I'm very much kind of getting distracted by the other things that I talked about, and it's hard to look at BBAI just on its own. I don't know if there was any news. Again, this just kind of reminds me of the NASDAQ, right? So I'm assuming the NASDAQ's going up. Where's the weekly? Damn, this is a really good weekly. That's nice. That looks like it wants to get to positive, and man, we haven't had great volume, but we're holding volume, and all we need to do is get to that 50 line, man. Wow, what are you at? 213, 210. Again, that's actually where it seems like this wants to come up to the 200 moving average. BBAI, wow, I'm glad I made this. I think I gotta watch this. Interesting. Hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. Hey, thank you.